There is a case currently in Kenyan courts that is like no other case that has ever been prosecuted in our courts. Now, apart from what we're about to discuss, I have some very explosive information at the tail end of this video. A previous business deal between Naushad Merali, who's the complainant in the case I'm about to discuss, and the Kenyatta family. So stay with me till the end. You don't want to miss that one. Investigators have shocked Kenyans with revelations on a case they are currently prosecuting. Allegedly, a young Kenyan was able to mimic the voice of President Uhuru Kenyatta very precisely. This person then called a leading conglomerate well known in Kenya, the Samia Group, and spoke to the chairman, Bwana Naushad Merali. The president, in quotes, wanted the Samia Group to get a certain deal, a tender of some sort. And there were some things that Bwana Merali was supposed to do. One of them being to release 10 million Kenya shillings to facilitate certain arrangements in connection to the tender or the deal that was being made by this fake Uhuru. Now, Chairman Merali was out of the country at the time this call came through, but he quickly instructed his finance director to make arrangements for the funds and release them to people who the president was sending shortly. And sure enough, some very high-end vehicles, complete with police outriders, arrived at Samia Group to collect the money. Now, according to investigators, several similar deals were done. At the end of the day, Naushad Merali's Samia Group released a total of 80 million Kenya shillings to people they believed were linked to the President of the Republic of Kenya. Now, as usual, investigators have asked for more time, and therefore they've asked a court to hold the suspects that they've already arrested until they complete investigations. Now, according to investigators, the person they believed mimicked or imitated the president's voice very successfully and fooled tycoon Bwana Merali is a man called Gilbert Kirunja. Gilbert is only 33 years old, and is said to be a graduate of IT studies, information technology. Investigators were shocked when they went to arrest Gilbert. They found him living in a palatial house in Karen. You know those houses with very high gates? And when finally you get through that gate, you have to travel for a few kilometers to reach the main house? Those kind of houses. And yet, this young man is listed as jobless. He is not employed anywhere, and he does not run any known business, according to investigators. Now, this case is very disturbing in more ways than one. The first thing that must be very clear is that these are no ordinary conmen. First of all, you must know that it is not easy to fool Bwana Naushad Merali. He is a very experienced businessman. He has built up his huge conglomerate from scratch. That's a very smart man. And he has done business in Kenya and beyond for very many years. Bottom line, this must have been a very elaborate scheme where the fraudsters covered all their bases, dealt with all the small details. Because any single small detail that would have raised suspicion in Bwana Merali would have meant the deals would never have gone through. And this is why the bombshell the investigators dropped in court makes complete sense. The investigators said that the fraudsters were very well connected. Remember that when they went to collect cash, there was a police outrider, similar to the police motorcycle outriders that the president goes with everywhere he goes. Investigators believe that the police officers who are involved are from Kilimani police station, rogue officers from Kilimani police station. But that is not all. Investigators also say that the fraudsters are extremely well connected in various government offices. In other words, they have insiders in those offices. And that's not all. Investigators also believe they have connections and contacts in State House, Nairobi. Yeah. Very unsettling, but it makes sense. Because if Mr. Merali was a foreign investor, not familiar with the situation in Kenya, and then he gets conned, that's normal. But this is a local tycoon, able to pick up the phone and make a few calls to verify before releasing the funds, which he most probably did, which just makes this fraud, which is currently being prosecuted, alleged fraud, mind-boggling. And so, the big question here going forward will be to find out who else was involved in this scam. Who are the fraudsters' contacts, for instance, in State House? Now, the way this fraud was discovered is very instructive. Now, Shad Merali's office wrote a letter to State House inquiring about the progress of the deal, so-called deal, and handlers of the president took one look at the letter and went into panic mode. And within no time, the Directorate of Criminal Investigations were brought in to investigate with speed and to get to the bottom of this. And that is when the whole thing was unearthed. Fascinatingly, this is not the first time that fraudsters have used the name of the President of the Republic of Kenya. During the Jomo Kenyatta days, the founding father and the first president of Kenya, several pieces of land, hotels, and even businesses were taken over by people who claimed they were representing Jomo Kenyatta. Now, picture the following scenario. People arrive at your business and they tell you, we've been instructed by Mzee that he wants to take over this business. How much are you willing to sell it for? And you respond, I'm not selling. I'm not interested in selling. And these people tell you, Mzee has said. And so the answer no is not an option. And then you agree on a figure. And then you're told, our instructions are that we are to move in right away. Mzee has said. And as was the norm in those days, you're told your check will be in the mail. Just pack up and leave. Now, of course, you have no way of placing a call to the dreaded Jomo Kenyatta at State House to confirm. Mzee, ni kweli ulituma watu? Translation, Mr. President, is it true you send people to take over my business? There was no way you could do that. And even if the check did not arrive in the mail, where were you going to chase for the money? Would you walk to State House and demand your money? No way. And so as the owner of the business, you'd be left to deal with the strange people who walked into your business one day. Now, if you think this is fiction, you'd better think again. This actually happened multiple times, especially at the coast. And fraudsters, some of them with close links to State House, were able to take over prime property, and businesses and hotels, etc., etc. Now, of course, times have changed. We no longer live in the Jomo Kenyatta days. And today there are various ways of verifying if people are sent to you or people want to take over your business. it certainly cannot work the way it used to work in the 70s. However, investigators believe that these fraudsters who are behind bars, awaiting trial, found a way. And at the center of this fraud was somebody who spoke exactly and precisely like the president. And it is also super fascinating that now Shad Merali and his group of companies have dealt with the president's family before. The Samia group of companies had a company in Uganda, Kampala, called Samia Agriculture and Livestock Limited. This was a dairy processing outfit. And in May 2015, they sold their company to another company called Brookside Dairies. The majority shareholder in Brookside Dairies is, of course, the Kenyatta family. Now, this is very explosive information. What does it mean? It means that before releasing 10 million Kenya shillings, that is roughly $100,000, and that's not chicken feed. Before releasing that kind of money, Bwana Merali would easily have picked up the phone and verified a few things. Bottom line, whoever was working with these fraudsters from State House is a very powerful person. And this is what should make this case extremely interesting going forward. As I sign off, I want to introduce you to a very fascinating video on this channel. And I'll do that immediately after the short upcoming commercial break. Don't go away. NYS suspect tried to call Uhuru is a past Kumekucha video I highly recommend. What now for Miguna, as Uhuru says he's sorry, is yet another video you will find highly fascinating. And they're all on this channel. Just click on those links. Until next time, this is Chris Kumekucha.